In this tutorial video, we're going to go over an example of how to create a breakout strategy using the extreme breakouts and price action strategy and some of the options we have in doing that. There'll be many more than I can show you, but this is just a quick example. So the first thing, this is applied to the chart and you have everything turned off, is what you want to do is you want to go to your breakouts section, which is going to be here, Breakout Controls. And I'm looking at the Tesla chart, so I'm going to be looking for longs. So I'm going to look for all-time highs. And I'm going to be looking for breakouts over the last, I'm on an hour chart, maybe the last 24 hours. So this is just an example. Now what we want to do is we need to set a stop loss and a take profit. Otherwise the strategy will not know when to exit. So we need to give it some parameters. So what I'm going to do is go down to the stop loss area where it says show stop level, click that, use stop loss, and I'm just going to set a really wide stop loss for now. I'll come back to this later and change this. Now I'm going to go to the take profit setting and also use something like a, let's say a 50% from entry just to give it some sort of parameter, and we'll come back here later and change this also. So you can see we're already starting to actually get trades on the chart, and they're actually quite profitable. Very, very good trades on this already. So you might not even have to filter this out even more, but if you want to add a couple things to it, like closer stop loss and some other settings, we'll go over that. So say, for example, let's say we want to take quicker trades. So let's say instead of using a 50% profit, maybe when we get 10% in profit, we want to exit the trade. Okay, so now we actually make a little more money and we have quite a few more trades. Let's say we want to filter it even further. We can go to the volume controls. Let's look for some volume conditions. So I have a 50 period for the volume moving average. If I want to look for volume that's 100% above the volume moving average, I'm going to type that in, click on use percent above the volume moving average, and just see how that works, what it does to the strategy. So what if we look for higher volume breakouts? What will that do? Sometimes not as good. Sometimes maybe you may not want to use it, sometimes you do. What if we just want to look for something that's just above the volume moving average? That actually increased profitability a little bit. You could look for volume below moving average, maybe for weaker weaker type breakouts. And you could use any of these settings here to make a strategy. But we're gonna stick with this one now just to make it a little bit better. We're gonna see if we can. I won't go into each one of these, but you can try these on your own and see how they work. Now, in addition to the volume, what about bars that close in the top, say 1%, they close in the top 1%, what does that look like? Let's use that price action control. That made us take a lot less trades, but let's say we want to, let's see what 10% looks like. How about if it closed in the top 40% of the bar? So you have examples, and maybe that may not make a more profitable strategy. You have to try different things out and see what works. Bar high goes higher, that could work pretty well. Let's see if the bar goes 2% higher than last bar. We want to use that as a breakout. Let's see 1%, how that works. Okay, that made it even more profitable than we had before. That's something you could do also. And again, I won't go into each one of these. It's just a quick, simple example, but now if we want to look for, maybe add some filters, maybe look for, as long as it's above a 21 moving average, EMA, made it a little bit less profitable, but nevertheless, something you could try. How about if it's just above a 2 EMA? Didn't really help too much at all. Not really much at all there. How about if it's more volatile? Let's look for a average true range increase. Okay. Again, you can play with all these and see what works well. I would be looking for really bullish conditions. Let's see, that actually did not make it as good. Let's try maybe 0.75 to 1. That helped out. Made it even better. And we have video examples on what all of these do, if you haven't seen those yet. These control your bull, bear, or sideways conditions for the market. Let's adjust our stop loss now. We would not have a 99% stop loss. Maybe let's try, what is a 3% stop loss look like? Okay, definitely took us in and out of a lot more trades. May not be what you'd want to end up with, but something to start with. You could try that. And what does 3.5% look like? Okay. What about if we use average true range stop loss? That actually helps out a little more. And you can adjust all these settings the way that you like. We'll keep that on for now. Let's make it a little wider. Maybe let's start with a 6, and then we'll trail it by 5%, the price. Okay. Maybe trail a little less, or a little more. Actually made it worse. So you just try these different settings and see what's going to give you the results you're looking for. Take profit, you can adjust that. I usually like using the percent from entry to keep it simple, but you could try different things. You want to try Bollinger Bands or Keltner channels. If it exits those, you can. Let's try some. Let me take the indicator off the screen where we're not going to show it, so it's not so convoluted right now. So we want to filter out some of the entries. Maybe we only want to take entries if the RSI is above 95. Okay, that actually made it more profitable and filtered out some trades, so that was actually pretty helpful. You could do the same thing with stochastics or EMA. And maybe I'm going to try to use RSI in a longer time period. So not only is it looking for RSI above 95 on 4, but what about 50 on a 50 length? What about 60? 60 RSI value. Let's try that. Yeah, I made it worse. So you can just try different settings and see what works. Exit filter. What if I don't want to exit when it's above the 99 RSI on a 4 length? Took a lot less trades. Profit went down a little bit, less drawdown. So it's kind of a sample of how to use this. You literally have almost unlimited options to try here. So the idea, you want to try to come up with a system that has very low risk. So maybe have some good stop loss management with good take profits, and something that stays in trades for as long as you like to be. Sometimes you don't want to be in a trade very long, or sometimes you do. If you're a swing trader, a day trader, or a longer term investor. So you can definitely devise a system here with all these options with price action and volume, and you have market regime filters, all for your breakouts, to find out a system that's going to work well for you. And you can do that for long or short. If you want to have help on actually designing a system, we do have private trading consulting too. We can really dial in on some specifics that may be helpful to you. And Other than that, just take the time and just try different things, and try to make something that makes you feel really good about your trading system. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully that helped. Enjoy.